Hello, welcome to the Georgina Chamber of Commerce 2022 Municipal Election Debate here on Rogers TV. My name is Karen Wolf and I will be your moderator. This broadcast is held in partnership with Rogers TV, Georgina, and the Georgina Chamber of Commerce. During the debate, you're going to hear from 3 candidates who will be asking for your vote on October the 24th to be the next councillor for Ward 2. I'll be introducing the candidates in a moment, but first I want to go over some of the housekeeping rules that we have in place for the debate. The order in which the candidates are being introduced and will deliver an opening statement was determined by a random draw prior to the program. That particular order will be reversed at the end of the program for closing statements. Each candidate will be given 1 minute for an opening statement, 1 minute for a closing statement, and 1 minute to answer questions. We have a timekeeper here in the studio, and she will cue the candidates at the 30-second mark and at the 10-second mark. If a candidate hears something that they would like to challenge, they can raise their hand and be recognized by the moderator prior to the next question. There is time to challenge a statement, and rebuttal opportunities may be available if time permits. We're looking forward to a respectful and informative debate today, and I encourage everyone to make the most of the time we have together. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the 3 candidates running in Ward 2. First, we have Natalie Floyd, Shannon DiLeonardo, and Dan Fellini. So let's begin with opening remarks, and based on the draw prior to the debate, I'm going to ask Natalie Floyd to go first.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Floyd. Nearly a decade ago, my husband and I moved to Georgina and started our family. We have since become active in the community and fallen in love with our beautiful town. I'm running for Ward 2 Councillor to make a difference. For the last 8 years, our ward has been underrepresented and ignored. I'm here to change that. As a mom of 3 living in the heart of Ward 2, I promise to continue to be a large part of our community. I will focus my efforts on compatibility of new developments, fighting to make our streets safer, our lakes and rivers cleaner, and our voices louder. It is clear from speaking to constituents that our ward wants change. On October 24th, remember to vote for Floyd.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll hear from Shannon DiLeonardo's opening statement.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting us here today. It's quite an honor. I am Shannon DiLeonardo, and I'm running for Ward 2 Councillor. I've been a resident of Keswick for 34 years. I've seen many changes since I first moved up here, and a lot of them are for the good, and I hope that we can continue to keep that positive momentum going. I have a varied background. I've worked in retail, manufacturing, and insurance sectors. I've been in human resources, regulatory affairs, compliance, privacy, and most recently, Director of Anti-Fraud in the insurance sector. In my 40 years of working experience, I have found that I've gained experience in delivering difficult messages, ensuring that people are communicated in a timely fashion. I don't have an issue making tough decisions. But the one thing, regardless of the role, I've learned you must communicate. Over-communication is a non-issue.
And now we'll go to Dan Fellini. Your opening statement, please.
Hello, everybody, and good day. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for being here and watching our debate. Hopefully you gained a lot of insight from this debate. If at the end of it there's any further questions you might have, please feel free to ask any one of us, and we'd be happy to answer the question with you for you. I believe that experience on council is huge. I've been on Georgina Council now for, 8 years. Again, it's been awesome. It's been a great experience. And thank you so much for your support and your confidence in my abilities. I look forward to continue to do that. I've been a resident of Ward 2 now for 24 years. I've got a small business in Ward 2 for 26 years. I've been a member of Chamber of Commerce, directors, vice chair, past chair, you name it. I've been very helpful within the ward and will continue to do so. So I'm hoping with your support, come October 24th, please vote Fellini and let's do this again. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, we're going on to the question and answer period for this debate. And our first question is going to go out to Shannon DeLeonardo. And the first question is, what does sustainable growth mean to you?
Thank you. So for me, sustainable growth, we've started a good platform within the community. When I moved up here, there was a lot of farmers' fields, and that's all changed to kind of residential. But for me, sustainable growth is not just about dwellings, although we do need to have affordable housing. Sustainable growth is also about business opportunities, keeping the businesses that we have in town, as well as bringing in new business. Sustainable growth is ensuring that our waterways can live through, the changes that are going on, that we stop the pollution that's going on in the lakes, rivers, and channels. Sustainable growth is making sure that the momentum that we saw during the pandemic, where families were out and about together, continue past the pandemic.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fellini, what does sustainable growth mean to you?
It's very big. I think we've done some great momentum moving forward on sustainable growth, from affordable housing to different developments for seniors, for example, for living, because we are very much deficient in those areas. Again, our lakes, Lake Simcoe is huge. It's our jewel of the north, as you know. I think that we need to do a better job of maintaining Lake Simcoe, our rivers, what they may be. And we're doing a good job. We're making progress. It takes time, as you know. So we'll get there. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And Ms. Floyd?
So for me, sustainable growth really starts with what we're growing in the community. Are we growing our industrial base? Are we growing our housing base? So we have a lot of housing going, and now we're starting the industrial base. While growing that industrial base, we have to remember that we're bringing in more cars. So we have to be smart with our choices in regards to the intersections that are going to be involved in that area. And then we also have housing coming in, so that's even more cars. So really just trying to keep a balance, and then looking at what we're building, is it compatible with what we already have? And how can we make that work together?
Thank you very much. Okay, our next question, we're going to start with Mr. Fellini, and that question is, Ward 2 is one of the heaviest populated wards in Georgina, yet has the least amount of options for public access to the lake. Would you, or what would you and council do to improve lake access in Ward 2?
So, just to your point that you made, at this point of time, Ward 2 is the biggest populated ward within the municipality. So good for us that we have this population here. It's awesome. We do need to be careful with Lake Simcoe, however. So it's going to be challenging because we have a lot of shoreline that we can somewhat take advantage of, but it's all private ownership. So that's going to be difficult. It doesn't mean that we can't improve Lake Simcoe and the impact that we're having on that, phosphorus buildup, for example. So, again, over time, we will get better with things that we're doing, and that's what we hope to do, and I hope to be on council again. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie, what do you think council could do to improve lake access here in Ward 2?
I actually think there's a development already in the process that's going to help this off of Cameron Crescent. They're actually going to make some public access off of that development that's been approved by council moving forward, and I think doing more developments that would help that where we can would definitely help the public access. And then also the areas that we do have, promoting them better. Like there's a lot of boat launches that I think people don't know about. So being able to know that these boat launches exist, help support keeping them clean and looking nice, and promoting them would help.
Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. DeLeonardo.
Thank you. So, you know what, I agree. The lake is just so important to our community. When I've been out walking and talking with the folks in the neighborhoods, I'm hearing that the access to the private beaches and maintaining those accesses to those residents is critically important to them. So when we think about how we can improve access to residents, I don't think we should be looking at taking those away, but rather leveraging the areas that we do have. And does that mean we need to make it more walkable to get into the lake? Does it mean that we need to have better facilities, better parking, better lighting? can we leverage Clarendon Beach in a different manner so that there's resident parking in that area as opposed to so much visitor parking? It's the only one that doesn't have passes. Could it be better lit? Could it have better access down into the park from the streets and parking lot? So I think Clarendon Beach is an area that we should be focused on.
Okay, thank you very much. My next question will go to Natalie first. What strategy would you propose to revive downtown Keswick and make it more vibrant?
Downtown Keswick. Well, downtown Keswick is, in my opinion, being forgotten right now. I think that we need to work together to bring in more design to the downtown Keswick. We need to bring back Santa Claus Parade, music in the streets. We need to be able to put up flowers, make it beautiful down there and attract people. And then when we have these events down there, make the promotions happening. The marketing is really lacking and we're not seeing that marketing. So we really need to do that to lift up downtown Keswick.
Thank you. Ms. DiLeonardo.
Thank you. So Uptown Keswick, in my mind, if we close our eyes and we envision Main Street and Newmarket, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Brooklyn, there's so much opportunity that we're not leveraging. We've got businesses in that area where the residents, the owners of those businesses actually reside in other parts of Keswick, not in the Uptown area. And we need to make sure they want to stay in that zone. So we need to make it appealing for them. You know, we stopped, as you said, music in the streets, the Harvest Festival. Those are things that are important to those business people, and speaking with them, those are things that we need to try and get back in motion. The other thing that I think is important from what I'm hearing from them is that in Sutton they can have sidewalk sales. In Sutton they can move out onto the sidewalk. We don't have that luxury in Keswick, and we need to bring that back. We need to bring it in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Fellini.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So first of all, having many discussions with Mr. Connors of the Connors Music in the Streets, they're thrilled with how Music in the Streets has happened up at the Pioneer Village. It's going to be quite a challenge to bring them back. We've also got to remember that in the last couple of years, this thing called the pandemic has gotten kind of in the way, and it's been rather interesting, and businesses themselves have had a hard time dealing with that. Uptown Keswick has now a very varied, if you will, locations of businesses. We've got a very eclectic now group of people, which is awesome. So we have many different businesses, which is good, and we're getting there. So things take time, of course. It's been a couple of years and a bit with the pandemic, but it's coming back. So that's my comment, and thank you.
Thank you. The next question, Ms. DiLeonardo, you'll go first. Describe an economic development strategy that you think would be successful in attracting employers offering good-paying jobs.
Thank you. So I think that that's an awesome question, and I think that we need to kind of think out of the box a little bit. And that means we need to recruit those businesses. We can't sit back and wait for them to come to us. We've got a beautiful community. We have a great base of employees here. We've seen an influx of people from the city, so a different skill set. So we've got a lot to offer them, but we can't sit back and wait for those folks to come to us. So just like we would be recruiting for, our own businesses, we need to be out there talking to businesses, bringing them into Georgina, sharing with them all of the great things that we have to offer here.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fellini.
Thank you. Again, I think our business park is going to be our jewel of that whole issue. Is it going to employ various residents? And it's huge. I mean, the employment opportunities that are presented from that business park, again, are huge. And these are well-paying jobs. They are not low-end jobs type of thing. So you will meet the poverty threshold, if you will, and above that. So that's good. I think it's amazing. The first building that's being built from where McDonald's is, the Panettone Group is now developing a building. It's 2.5 sizes the time of it's 2.5 sizes of Walmart, a regular Walmart. So that's huge. They do not have yet employers there yet, and they are building it to suit, and they will do that. So that's awesome, I think. And that's going to be part of what's coming towards us. So that's, I think, a great initiative.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Floyd, would you take this question for us, please?
So, to Dan's point, the business park is a great opportunity for businesses, but right now it's vacant. So I think really, to Shannon's point, going out and helping get the businesses in, but it's not just there. It's permitting processes. A lot of businesses have approached this town and they've been rejected, or the permit process takes too long or costs them too much money. So we have to expedite our permitting processes to help the businesses come in and be in place. And we need to start accepting these businesses. There are people who want Home Depot, they want Starbucks. I can't tell you how many times people tell me Starbucks. But they want larger businesses. They want to see, jobs as well. An IKEA would be nice. So finding the businesses, and then in turn helping expedite the process, because the sooner they get in, the sooner it's better for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
I have another comment.
Pardon me?
To this?
Yes.
Thanks, sorry.
Okay.
I think that the big box stores are important. They are important, and getting them in here is important. But we also have local entrepreneurs that are looking for opportunities to start businesses here as well. And we need to be able to bolster them up and foster them. And to your point, the red tape is a challenge for them. But do we need a Home Depot, or do we need a local lumber store again in town?
Anybody rebut that?
I would say if there's a local lumber store, then let's go local,
Yeah.
right? I just know Home Depot's been rejected in the past, but yeah, like if somebody's willing and wants to do that, then we should go local and
Okay.
make a big, that would be amazing for
Thank you.
an opportunity.
Dan?
So I do know that there has been talk about a local lumber store. They have been sort of, I'll say, shy about doing that initiative, because it's going to be a big deal, big money, big dollars, all that stuff. Currently, we don't have a lumber store here. We have to go either to Sutton or Newmarket to buy a 2x4, which is crazy. So I'm hoping that with some more discussion, we can have a local lumber store.
Okay, great. The next question that I have, I'm going to ask Dan to take this first. Residents are getting tired of watching their taxes increase every year. What is the answer?
That's a good question. It's a great question. I don't have a very good answer for that, to be honest. Again, taxes may go up slightly, but that's just a function of reality. We cannot change what we cannot change. I don't believe we are over the top heavy type of thing. So while the taxes, and we've done a great job in the municipality over the last few years to minimize tax increases because of the pandemic, right? So we've done an awesome job, I think, of supporting businesses locally, people locally, best we can, and taxes have been minimized. So that's the best we can do at this point.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to ask Natalie to take this question next.
Thank you. So as far as the taxes, we can't just cut them. Unfortunately, if I told you we were going to cut them, I'd be lying to you, and I don't want to do that. But we can do our best to look at the budget and minimize the increases of the taxes. We can also do our best to get that business park tenants as soon as possible by minimizing red tape, so that we get more industrial base so we can balance our economy. And that will definitely help in the tax department.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Leonardo.
Thank you. And while we wait for those things to happen, which are good initiatives for sure, I think that we need to take a step back and remember that the people who are paying these taxes are working very hard for this money. And they're entrusting us with those funds. And we need to be responsible with them. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I feel like as a municipality, we need to be treating these as our own funds, as we would our own account. And we need to sit back and look and say, if I was a small business or if I was a homeowner and I was exceeding my budget, I would need to take some measures to reduce so that I could make ends meet. So as a town, we have to be critically thinking about where we're spending and how we're spending so that we can not necessarily cut taxes, but keep them manageable.
Okay, thank you very much. My next question, I'm going to ask Natalie to take first. One of the most challenging problems at all levels of government right now is the cost of housing. What are your plans to address housing affordability in Georgina?
Well, housing affordability is a big topic. Currently, right now, with interest rates increasing, housing affordability is coming down, but it's still not at a reasonable price. There are initiatives that I've seen in other municipalities that support the housing affordability, and I think that we can bring in some of these initiatives and we can do some of these plans to help that list, because the list of York Region's low-income housing is 15,000 people. So that's a lot of people to be on a waiting list. for affordable housing. So if we can bring in some of these initiatives and support the community and help lower it and get some more affordable housing, that would be great.
Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. DiLeonardo.
Thank you. I think that we need to start rethinking what we mean by affordable housing. So it's not necessarily geared to income, but it's our kids. It's our kids that have grown up here and chosen to stay here and can't afford to get into a home here. So I agree. We need to do some out-of-the-box thinking on this. And one of the things, and I don't know the feasibility of it because I haven't looked into the nitty-gritty, but if we take Sutton by the Lake, which is a seniors area where they lease the land and they have an affordable dwelling on it, why can't we start thinking along those lines? When we look at areas like Kitchener and Waterloo where they built tiny home communities, why can't we do that kind of thing here? Why does everything we build have to be $1 million plus? They look great, but can we really afford to live in those homes?
Thank you very much. Mr. Fellini.
And thank you again for the question. Interesting question. Part of what's happening is that we do have some affordable housing coming online. There's been some developments that have been great. And again, if I think down at Biscayne, for example, there is now a home there being built, which is going to be for 2-3 family dwellings. We do have, a garden suite. We have more of those opportunities coming online. So if the home is on a big piece of land, why not build a garden suite so the family can live there? Makes it affordable for them too, and we can help our children, et cetera, right? So I think it's some of those things that we have to champion, and that's how we should get over this hump, I hope. And you've got to remember that those who are living south of here have sold their homes for $2 million, come here, buy for $1 million. They're in a good spot. So we have to change that somehow.
Okay, thank you very much. This is our final question, and you only have about 40 seconds for this one. So if elected, what will be your first order of business for Ward 2? And I'm going to ask Ms. DiLeonardo to take this first.
So I have been walking and talking, walking and talking, and that's going to continue. What I've heard is depending on where you reside in Ward 2, you have very different needs. So I think what's critically important is to build focus groups of residents in those pockets, pull them together, build a strategy for the issues that are important to them, and then execute on that strategy at a town level. So that's one key thing that I want to make sure happens right away.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fellini, 40 seconds.
Same thing, much walking, talking, knocking, and it's great. You hear many different comments from many different residents within the ward. Some people wish this, some would wish that. We'll do our best to do as much as we can, as you know. It's just going to be challenging because we don't always have the resources to do what people want, like reduce taxes, for example. That's not a possibility, I don't think. So will we listen to our residents? Of course we will. That's part of what we should do, and so we will. So that's, I think, the first thing that we should need to do.
Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. Floyd.
Well, over the last several months, I've been doing a lot of walking and talking and learning a lot from the residents, and I've been actually compiling notes of what's important and what I feel should move forward first. And I've even done some work with helping out the residents with the river and cleanup. So I want to continue that, and I want to continue taking what processes are going to be the most important, and then together with the new councillors, get to know them and find a way that we can work together to accomplish everybody's needs and prioritize what's going to be most important.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move into closing statements now. Remind that each of you have 1 minute for this, and we're going to do it in reverse order. So the first person for closing statements will be Dan Fellini.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you again for everybody who has joined us today. Hopefully it's been an insightful information session for you. And like I said earlier, if there's anything that you would like answered and we can help you, please feel free to reach out and we will help you, I'm sure. Again, thank you for being here. I've been your Ward 2 councillor now for 8 years, and it's been an awesome time. We, in my mind, have some great people at the right spots on the bus now to move forward. Again, we're dealing with $2 billion in assets at this point, $100 million budget. So do we get that budget, ask questions, get those answers back, send more questions, get that back, and go back and forth? Again, we've got some great people at the right spots on the bus for these answers, questions, and I would like to be part of that positive change going forward, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Floyd, please. Ms. Floyd?
Isn't it
yes?
reverse order? Closing statements?
You're right. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Natalie. I appreciate
Shannon
it.
DiLeonardo, please.
Thank you. So again, I echo your sentiments. Thank you for having us here today. There was a lot of things that I think that we could have touched on, but time permitting didn't allow for it. I will continue to walk, knock, and talk. If I haven't gotten to your home yet, please, I'm going to do my best to get there, but please reach out if you have questions or concerns. I want you to understand that I am committed to Ward 2. I will answer questions. I will be available to the constituents. I will make your voice heard. So by getting people together, my one vote on council will be your vote. I guarantee you we can figure out an alignment and a strategy to move these forward. My big goal after 4 years as your Ward 2 councillor will be that with pride I can knock on your door again and ask you to be supporting me. In the meantime, on October 24th, please vote DeLeonardo, a real person for real change.
Thank you. And Natalie Floyd.
Well, I hope you feel that I'm the right person for the job. Months ago, when I started researching this position, I found a community that was lacking support. Do you want someone who will work for you every month out of the year, not just the few months leading up to the election? Do you want someone who will find solutions instead of creating more roadblocks and more problems? Do you want someone who will encourage a positive culture and community involvement? Do you want someone who will support compatible growth in our town? Do you want someone who lives in the heart of Ward 2 and will be responsive to your needs? If you had said yes to any or all of the above, then remember on October 4th to vote for Floyd. Mistakes have been made in the past, and as Zig Ziglar says it best, we don't have to be great to start, we have to start to be great.
Thank you very much. So unfortunately, that is all the time we have. I want to thank our candidates for their participation, and I want to thank you at home for watching. I hope this debate will allow you to make an informed decision when you go to the polls on October the 24th. And I will invite you to continue watching Rogers TV because we will be bringing you televised debates for all of the other municipal council positions. I also encourage you to tune into Politically Speaking this month, when 3 former council members will be discussing some of the issues in this election. Schedules are available on rogerstv.com. And I want to see you back here on election night when we get together and we're going to be delivering and telling you what the local results are. So stay safe, everyone, and don't forget to vote. Thank you for watching.